Okay, so this is social engineering right now. So, well, you see two people over there. One has a beard, a female sort of, right? Short sleeve. Why is short sleeve? Because they're very big on the word token. Okay, what is token? Token is when you see someone and they have a lot of skin showing versus not skin showing. So for example, shoes, no shoes, socks, hands, like, you know, they do a lot of different things where they'll have, like, you know, things where because they had a situation just now, right? They had that. It was them, right? And who's them that you're asking? Who are you talking about? Right? Who's them? Well, I would say the system, right? Bezos and big tech, they put situations in front of me, right? For me to have some sort of it's a cognitive dissonance or a situation. Because if you look at cats and just cats only, and then you look at people, you'll notice anything with a face draws your attention, makes you, it draws you in, okay? So the more faces looking back at you in social media, the more energy is draining from you, okay? And that's why very, very, very sensitive people just like find themselves looking at cats or animals or just like it's like landscapes. So in my startup, we were actually going to have experiments where we're just going to look at as a control like animals and or things with no faces and then animals. You know, I'm a very sensitive person. I was actually in a library and I saw a stuffed animal that looked like, well, it was a stuffed animal of a lion, and it was very scary, very scary. I looked at it and it had quite an effect on me. I notice things, I see things because of real estate, because I've studied real estate before, and that actually got me into like wanting to like learn about law. And then you ask me, why do you care about real estate? Well, it's not really I care about real estate. It's about, you know, owning a brokerage and having people sell real estate for you. So they have this thing where like in real estate where you just and we'll talk about token again. Pretty much like you have land, and then you give it to a migrant like worker or whatever, and you let them live in that, and then they get to have that for their life, and then they goes back to the lineage. For some reason, I something happened. Well, I was just more in tuned, and at Michael's, I realized the whole place is a Freemason place, because I noticed something about a golden bird cage. And another day I went there, I'm like, whoa, what was so special about that day? My mind was just more open, and I was I was plugged in, so I noticed that. And when I mean plugged in, I mean like a butt plug up inserted, because that's what I use for, you know, that's what the White House considers a butt plug witchcraft. It is, all right. So anyway, I was, you know, I saw that, I noticed that, and I noticed that they're Freemasons, Michaels, right? At first I was like, you know, the bird died, right? Right, but then, you know, it's real estate. Right? I am a conservative, right? You know, so there's just a lot of mixed feelings at the same time when I saw that, and then that's when I noticed that they were Freemasons, right? I'm very sensitive to things. I understand facial expressions that are made based on the idea and the premise behind them. I am an empath and a clairvoyant. I'm on a telepathic medium. And because of that, I figure out a lot of things. You know, so there you go. And I figured out that, Danny Feynman, he's a hitman, right? And that's how Nicky Page got made. I figured out that he was not going to do what he was going to do with me was not good. So I figured that his movie was based on reality and, based on him being it was not that he was a hitman. That's why I just stopped working as his assistant, production assistant role. It was that, and it was because of I analyzed the Marshmallow music video so well that I started working with Danny. He just called me to work with him. And I'm like, how long is it gonna take me to read the script? I thought he's like, it'll probably take you an hour. It took me a long time, more than that, because I was like inside scene, outside scene, like goons, how many goons, props. Like he didn't tell me to do all that, but I was like, I wanted to, because I was like, I wanted to like know that more of that. He told me like a movie has a high budget, a low budget. There's different ways to do it, right? So I just that was my job. So I just didn't just read it, right? I didn't do a lot of reading and before. I read Harry Potter and things like that, and like my dad like bribed me to read the Harry Potter book, the first one for Limp Bizkit CD, and I read it really quickly, fast, but then I read it normally and like actually understood what I was reading, right? So the books I write, they're like 20 pages long, so I hope you like them. All right, I'm gonna end this video right now. Thank you. Bye. Oh yeah. Oh, token. What's token mean? A lot of skin color showing, and how do we say someone's token? Token. This is an equation. And so as a social media company, there's a lot of things that we know about people, and if they're token or what kind of a facial expression do they have, and looking at just the hands, what index finger is the invalidator, like that anywhere near the face, like especially you do not want that index finger pointing at you. You will be offended. Okay, this is what I wanted to say for right now. All right, thank you. Bye.